Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Algo, and today is Thursday, June 3rd, 2021, and what a crazy, choppy day. Better get your Ginsu knives out because chop, chop, chop is on the menu. We saw a fade in meme stocks. Surprise, surprise, surprise. And we saw an overall, just general bleh in the market. The market was bleh today. That's official bleh, right? What we're going to do this afternoon is we're going to go through these what do I got here? Top four stocks that have bullish divergence, and we're going to pull those up and see if we can find any sort of confirmation, technical analysis. I use basic stock market technical analysis. It's good for new traders, seasoned traders, professional traders, anyone who's learning how to do stock market technical analysis, anyone who's out there searching for videos on how to trade the stock market. This is the place for you. Okay, everything I do is and I use is try to incorporate as many free indicators as possible. However, there are some proprietary paid ones that I have linked in our description. They're there for a reason. They serve a purpose. There's not a freebie out there that can compete with it. So if I'm trying to push a paid product, it's definitely worth it. I like to save money. I work hard for my money, and so I thoroughly vet all of these. So with that being said, the software, what we're going to be using is the Smart Money, Dark Pool, and Block Trade algorithm software provided by those folks over at Flow Trade. There is a free trial linked in my description, as well as my profile on Twitter. Get your free trial, get set up, ask all the questions that you can, learn everything that you can, and you'll see how we have an edge. The Flow Index edge really shows us what the smart money and large institutions are doing before it happens, before the market feels it. Now, sorry, I needed to readjust real quick. Now, there's some other services out there that I guess were down today that were lagging. There was lots of lack of flow. I feel sorry for that. It's awfully a horrible situation to be in when your software doesn't follow through with what it's supposed to do. The beauty of this indicator is that it's just, dedicated. So let's get right into it. But before we do, make sure you hit the like button, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you're notified anytime we put out additional stock market or trading content. Let's jump right into it. What we're looking at today is OKTA, JWN, NEM. Went over that this morning. It's solid. And JD. From left to right, OKTA, OKTA. I'm going to just do real quick. I've decided this is how I'm going to do my videos since they do take a little bit longer. I try to keep them under 10 minutes. However, I am actually doing an analysis on two different parts. We're looking at the algorithm analysis, and then we're also looking at stock market charting technical analysis. So I'm going to try to do things a little differently today. I'm going to go through the algorithm analysis first for each stock and for each ticker. Then I'm going to jump over to the charts and run through the charts. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time getting people familiar with the back-end system. I've got a video for that. It's linked. Go ahead and watch that. And you can also watch some other educational series videos I have out there. So what we're looking at here on the upper left, the upper left screen, actually, let me do this. I've got the ones that I written down. OKTA, JW, JWN. Okay. I'm going to pull this up in a single chart layout just so that it's super great for you folks at home watching me on YouTube. All right. Oh, hilarious. All right. There are no block trades really that are influencing this ticker at this moment in time. If there were, then they would show up as either a red or a blue horizontal lines. The purple line is the normal algorithm line. That's the one that I use. The dark pool line is a completely different beast. and I don't feel like combining them is the most appropriate way. You get a lot of trading with price action. So the normal algorithm is the algo that I use on the daily basis. Okay, I'm just going to mark my chart up here a little bit. The algo is net buying. We've got a little bit of trading with price action that has caused some divergences to be played out. This divergence here is played out, right? This divergence here is played out. That would be this guy right here, right? Currently, price action is, looks like it's kind of in a downward wedge, right? So we'd like to see that that falling wedge breakout, right? Get above this point here, which would be this divergence playing out right here, right? Currently, the algo is actively net buying, but it's a little bit curled down. Looking at, typically what that indicates is a little bit of indecision. What we're looking at on the 1 minute chart, and price action, we've got nice bullish divergence on the 1 minute chart that occurred earlier this afternoon. Currently, price action is having a little bit of difficulty with the opening range low. However, with this vertical, I don't want to call it a money line, but basically this is a large influx of capital, which means lots of institutional buying came in at this point, right at the end of the day, which would allow this divergence to be played out here. I'm gonna just do standard. Right? This divergence is going to be played out once price action gets above the previous level and the algorithm continues to drag price action higher, right? That was OKTA. The next one we wanted to look at was JWin, JWN. There we go. JWN on the 15-minute chart. So this is almost 90-degree divergence. So essentially what is happening is this lower divergence here is consolidation as price action moves. Right, the algorithm is straight up net buying. We've got pretty significant divergence here. So when this stock gapped down, whether it was due to earnings or news, the algo saw that as a buying opportunity and started buying heavily. Right, we've got nice curling up on the algorithm. It is trading with price action. As you can see, it's very similar shaped highs and lows. We've got uptrend support. We've got this longer term, this shorter term, right? Uptrend support looks like a nice little channel potentially forming, right? We've got a gap that will need to be filled coming at this level here, right? So that gap needs to be filled. Any other patterns? Gap up, down. So resistance, support. Resistance came back down to support. So look for at least a continued move back up to probably this. It'll be this gap fill, right? That's coming in. Like I said, the algo is trading with price action. Any divergence prior to this level here is played out. This divergence is played out here, and we're currently in minor divergence here. Divergence is, divergence is when the price is heading one way and the algo is heading the other way, okay? Looking at JWin on the old 1 minute chart. Chopping back and forth, the algo essentially traded with price action up until the end of the day, and at that point it diverged. So we opening range high, opening range low, right? We hit the high, we came back down and hit the low. We chopped around all day, and we came to rest at the opening range low. I don't know if you guys can see that blue. Let me change it to a red. At the same time, we had divergence occur, where a large influx came in. This is a 1, 2, 3 pattern. This is a Dow reversal pattern. So basically, price action comes up, hits some sort of resistance, retraces, right, to support before the next move upward. Let's see. before the next move upwards. That pattern you can see over here where it retraced to some level of support before it's making its next move upward. So this is a good indication that price has the potential to get dragged back up with the algorithm. All right, that was JWN. The next one that we want to look at really quickly is NEM. I've gone over NEM a couple times now. I'm becoming more of a believer. The morning stream, there was a request to look after this one, and I was like, and now I'm slowly being converted. Obviously, lots of opportunity, and here we go. Okay, so a couple things to note. The algo is essentially trading with price action, and it's trying to form that Wu-Tang pattern, right? Where, let me just mark up the algo, right? We've got curling up. We've got looks like we've got some support that's been formed. Price action has got a gap to fill here, right? That's a pretty big gap, right? We need that gap to fill. Price action's making the Wu-Tang pattern, which is the back down, selling off into support, retracing into resistance, right? Retracing back to support for confirmation before the next explosive move out and up through previous resistance, right? It forms that W with the Wu-Tang clan, right? That's what I like to call it. I believe that's what's happening here. The algo is essentially just traded with price action up until this divergence point where price action was affected by probably profit taking or some other outside influence, and the algo kept buying. There was a period of this sell-off here that happened, this gap down. The algo gap down, however, the algo found previous support, and it's using it as or previous resistance, and it's using it as support, looking for the next leg upwards. Okay, NEM on the 1 minute chart. All right, so what we have here is price action trading with the algorithm with a little bit of separation coming at the end of the day, right? This is obviously, whenever we see this type of a move, this type of separation, we like to see that bullish separation of the algo separating from price action, going up to the opening range high that we're going to use as the initial resistance. So that's coming in at 71.32, NEM break of 71.32, and we've got some room to move. All right, that was NEM on the 1 minute. So we've done, let's see, I think the last one that I really need to work on is JWin. Did we do that one? JWN. So we did JWN. Did we do OKTA? OKTA. I look at so many tickers a day that I just lose track of JD. I just lose track of the names. Unless it's somebody that I have a position in, it's just another string of numbers or letters, right? All right. No significant block trades in the last 30 periods for JD. I'm going to use yellow. Right. All of this previous divergence is considered played out as of this point here. Right here. So this is fresh divergence, right? Actually right here. JD has got nice long-term uptrend support. I butchered that line. Sorry. There we go. Nice long uptrend support. We got a gap that's going to need to be filled. Right, coming in at this level here. Looks as if though we've got a little bit of a minor Wu-Tang reversal pattern, a little minor W. So price came down, support, resistance, support, next move up, right? The algo is currently pretty vertically separated, which is strong net buying. A little bit of concerning curling over here at the end of the day. That may just do a little bebop like it did here, or even here, and curl its way back up. So I'm looking for it to do just a minor retracement. Looking at JW on the 1 minute chart. All right, so any divergences that occurred today have been played out, except for this one here at the end of the day, where actually, you know what? Now that I look at it, all divergences have been played out. I thought I was going to get one here. I thought I was going to get a little minor one here, but obviously that's played out. All of this is played out, right? So all intraday divergences have played out, which is good because what we need is this algo line, right? We need this to curl back up and continue to drag price action up past this little, oh, come on, right? This little overhead resistance that it broke through, it came back and tested it, and it's moving on. All right, so that's JD, JWin, OKTA, and NEM from just an algorithm perspective. All right, sorry about that, a little bit of a phone call. All right, so I went through those top 4 stocks, looking at it from a strictly algorithm perspective. I'm going to go ahead and bring those over to the old charting platform. I use Thinkorswim. Real quick overview introduction of my moving averages. Green, yellow, and orange are exponential moving averages. They're stacked 8, 21, and 34. This blue that you can barely see that I'm fixing right now, that blue is the 50-day simple moving average. The red is the 200-day simple moving average, right? Costco looks good, by the way. Let's look at JD first. All right, JD on the daily chart. So it looks like we had some positive news, came up, resistance, back down into support. We gapped up the other day. So we gapped up on Monday, and now we're coming back to test support at the 34 EMA. We were able to close above the 34 EMA. We've got a daily squeeze that is just... sorry, we have a 2-day squeeze that's getting ready to fire. We've got nice, strong, positive MACD, increasing RSI and histogram. We've got light blue histograms on the Squeeze Pro. We've got a $2.50 ATR, neutral VWAP, great ADX. Looking at a little price action for the day. So we gapped up the other day. We're fading back into support right at the 21, 34, and 50 moving average cluster. Currently we're neutral, so we're just kind of basing from the market extension. This overhead 200 SMA is obviously going to be resistance, and that lines up with trying to find the previous this level that it's lining up with, and it looks like it's going to be possibly this supply zone here. All right, what I want to do is, this is my 4-hour chart. I want to throw on some Fibonacci's just so that I can get a feel for support, resistance, and direction. So previous high to previous low, we've obviously blasted through that, so I need to go back further. I need to grab support and resistance from this high to this low. Whoa. Fibonacci from this high to this low. So we retraced back above the 618, right? We ran into some resistance there. If I were to dig through, I'm sure I can find a supply zone. From that resistance, we came back and we tested the 618 retracement of the previous high to previous low. The upper targets, I guess, right? The initial long targets for this stock are going to be 80, which is previous high, then 83, which is a 127. I actually like this 85, which is a 141.4, because that comes in at the 200 SMA on the 4-hour chart. This 141% extension, it comes into play a lot more than you think it would. So what I'd look to do is, what did I say? It had a dollar and a half ATR, 250 ATR. So looking at the June 18th contracts, I'm just going to throw some targets on here to look and see if it's even possible for us to get to that level, right? This $85 level between here and here. That's a pretty standardized angle. I believe we could get there with a little bit of profit taking here at 80. So we're currently trading at 75. I like those. You want to say the 85s? Oh, don't want that. Had the wrong stock up, sorry. Alright, so going a couple weeks out, 85s. Look at that open interest. Wow, and they're dirt cheap. Alright, so market makers expecting us about a $5 move, so that puts us at 80, at this $80 level. Those are well within my risk tolerance. I'm going to bump it up to these 77.50s. Right, I'm going to throw those on the watch list for tomorrow to get into long, or potentially Monday. The open interest on the call and the put side, massive open interest on the puts at 77.50, about the same. So if there was a pinning strategy for this monthly expiration, 77.50 is definitely well within reach, and it's also within the market maker expected move. So look for manipulation of the stock price up to that level, but not through it. So you have to manage your entries and exits appropriately. The next one we were looking at is OKTA. All right, looks like sell off. Bad, so bad earnings were sold off. Daily squeeze fire to the short side. Kind of free falling here on the daily. Negative MACD, negative histogram, negative stochastic, negative RSI. Market extensions kind of fading. I'm going to go back in time and see if I can find a demand zone that's going to potentially stop this move down. 210, right? It looks like it's going to be right in this, maybe it's possibly this guy right here. So I'm just going to throw a channel up on that. Let's see. I don't believe we've stopped moving to the downside yet. It could be this one right here. This little doji right here could be causing all the grief. Alright, so obviously there's a demand zone coming in right at 200, 190, what is that? 200 to 205. Wow, this thing moves in $5 chunks. Good to know. All right, there's a demand zone coming in at 205 that we're gonna that could be potential support. Sorry, I'm just gonna throw a trend line up here. Right. So if we were to look for trend line support, coming down and touching that 205 level is definitely a very real possibility. Yeah. What's the Algo doing on this again? Is the Algo buying? Oh. 1 second here. Yeah, we've got, look at that. Yeah, the Algo's buying. So this Algo is consolidation. This move is definitely a buy move. If we can get above, right? If we can break out of this channel and confirm breakout of the channel that the Algo is currently bouncing back and forth, right? Like I said, it's important for that algo to curl back up to indicate a move back to the upside. So it looks like we just sold off all day today. We're definitely oversold, right? No squeezes to help us out. This is a potential double bottom, right? And it's, I mean, I could be off on my demand zone. I could be very off on my demand zone. It could be one of these. It could be this one right here. However, with that uptrend, upward trend line, I'm gonna look for another, like, I'm looking for a dip buy at 205, anywhere from 205 to 207, right? So when that happens, I'll look to go long. The algo is buying. So if we get back down to 205, let's pretend it hit here. Immediately, I would look for a reversion to 217, which is an 8 EMA, followed by, and its previous high. So look, this level right here, right? So if we were to bounce, I would look to play to the 218 or the 220 for 2 weeks out. This 220s look pretty decent. We could play to the 205s, yeah. They do have monthlies or weeklies, so next week's 220s are pretty decent. That could be the play. I'm going to throw those on watch. Just because of what the algo was doing. And the ATR, oh, $10 ATR? Heck yeah, dude. This thing's chunky. I like this one. So let me explain what I'm doing. I'm waiting for a reversal, either with the histogram, the MACD, stochastics, for it to come down and kiss this little upward trend line, or to come down and test this demand zone here. But as soon as it does reverse, I'm going to look to immediately play the reversion to the 8 EMA and potentially the 21 EMA, with the 8 being the closest, coming in at 222. Those next week's 220s are well within my risk tolerance. They've got good open interest and good volume. I can probably get in and out of those pretty easy. They're not super illiquid. Alrighty. We're going to move on to the next one. So I did JD. J-Win. Is that Nordstrom? That's what I thought. Alright. Bad earnings. Sold off at earnings. We've got nice uptrend support that's happening right here. A little bit of uptrend support. Yay. Come on. The MACD is neutral and curling around, so RSI is a little bit overbought, but it is curling. Monthly, 2-day, 3-day, 4-day, weekly squeeze getting ready to fire off. Look to play the reversion to the 21 EMA right at 36. Yeah, so we had a golden cross on our MACD. We're bearish on our market extension, but however, our histogram is slingshotting, which means that it's neutral and decreasing. We've continued to make higher lows and higher highs on the 4-hour up until today. All right, we sold off today. Came back in and we tested previous resistance from back here, right? This one. So if I throw some Fibonacci's on this, I bet you I'm gonna see. All right, so this is the big play, right? This high to low. But inside of that, we've got a smaller term play, which would be this retracement. So from low to high, back down to low. We came back, so we retraced to the 618 from this low to this high. We may touch 34.16 before moving back up, and we may even come back down and test 33.77 before the next move upwards, with immediate target of the 34 EMA, which is a previous high at 35.82. All right, let me see. So we need the MACD to separate and begin moving upwards a little bit more. But I do like this gap fill, 34 EMA target at 3650. So go out a couple weeks to those 3650s. Right, there's not a ton of open interest. There is some on those 35s. It's more within my risk tolerance. I might even bump up to the 34s. 34, those are liquid. So June 18th 35s are pretty liquid. There's a 9-cent difference on that. I like those ones. There's a bunch of open interest on the call and the put side. So it could be a potential move to pin at that level. Who knows? All right, so that was JWIN, JW, and NEM. NEM is the last one on our list. All right, what happened here? Oh, dividend date. So, pro tip, if you see an ex-dividend date coming up, look for a buying opportunity. Okay. So, the good. Stack positive EMAs. Positive RSI, neutral but decreasing MACD. Great ADX. We move about $1.50 per day. We were in this little flag, right? This little bull flag that was happening from this large move from earnings, right? This after earnings large move. We were in this bull flag. The reason it broke was because the ex-dividend date. So the ex-dividend was 55 cents, and I'll bet you the amount from the close of yesterday to the close of today was about 55 cents. All right, let's see what we have. 72.69, 71.34. It was off a little bit, but you can typically expect a drop when that ex-dividend date occurs. Mainly because a lot of times people will just hold stock to that date, get paid, and move their money someplace else. Anyway, nice healthy retracement to the 21 EMA, right? We didn't close below it, so we closed more than 50% above it, so this is just a retracement to me. I'm going to throw some fibs on this. This gives me a nice fib level to look towards. Obviously, the target's going to be 73.44, which is a 618 retracement of this previous high. So previous high to low, retrace. We're going to run into initial resistance coming in at 72.29, then 72.87 before we hit 73. I'm going to call it 73.50, which is probably the top of that candle. All right, 73.50 is going to be the point. All right, nice uptrend. We were retracing to the 21. Ex-dividend date came in. Massive sell-up, so we gapped down, but we did maintain support at this little micro demand zone coming in right here. We didn't come down and test the main one. So this is going to be an important little blip to remember for the life of the stock, that this micro demand zone stopped a gap down. All right. No real squeezes to speak of. We just turned a little reversal sign on my market extension. And yeah, we're currently below the 4-hour EM or 4-hour Keltner channel, but we've got some increasing positivity. This is just a hammer, right? Hammer potential reversal. So that's it for me. Thanks for joining me. My name is Dark Bolt Algo. Hopefully you enjoyed this content. I tried to keep it as concise as possible. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and then turn on notifications so you're notified anytime we put out any new and exciting stock market content. Thanks for joining me. Have a good one.